All right, this is step 4 for project 5, our alligator weave. For this step, you're going to need your loom that looks like this, and you're going to need your paper strips that should look like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a weave. With a weave, I like to talk about two very important words. They represent a pattern. So when you are weaving, you're going to take one strip at a time, and you're going to go into your loom and you're going to do a over, under, over, under, over, under pattern. So for example, I know that kindergarten we talk about patterns. So if I'm using, for example, I'm going to grab some crayons and I'm going to talk about color patterns. So if I have an orange crayon and then I have a green crayon and then here's another orange one, which color, if I'm creating a pattern, which color is going to come next? Orange, green, orange. Yep. Green. What would come next? Orange. What would come next? Green. Yep, so see the pattern here. Orange, green, orange, green, orange, green. So it's the same kind of idea when you are making a weave. Over, under, over, under, over, under. And then each strip starts off. If you start off on over for the first strip, the next strip is going to start under, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So you should have, your name on the back. So this is going to be the front. And then for my virtual students, because you may have used a marker and or whatever, pencil, marker, pen, and you might see some of those lines from cutting it out. You know, I still see some of mine. When you're weaving your strips in, just make sure that you don't see them. We'll keep all of the pencil marker marks on the back of our artwork. So what I like to do is I like to start on one side and then work my way across. So I'm going to start with over. And let me just zoom in a little bit. Let's see if that, okay. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to go over this first strip right here. You see how my paper is over, my dark green paper is over my light green paper. And then with this second strip, I'm going to go under. So I'm going to pull it right through. And then I'm going to go over. And then under. Over. And then under. And then I'm going to pull it all the way to the top. And then just scooch my strip as far over as I can, nice and tight. And then you're going to go ahead and grab your second strip and do the same thing, except you want to do opposite. So this one started over, but then the next one has to go under first. So under, and then over, under, over, under, and then over. And we'll let our strips just overlap. Okay, you're starting to see that pattern. The two dark greens are never right next to each other. They're diagonal to each other, but they're never right next to each other. So let's try it again. All right, so over, under, and what comes next? Over. So I'm going to go over this strip, under, over, under, over, and under. And I'm going to scooch it all the way, nice and tight. All right, starting to see the pattern here. So here are some things that could go wrong. So sometimes we forget. So sometimes I have students that, you know, they go over, under, over, and then they forget to go under for the next one, so they just decide to go over again. So over, under, over, under, over, under. look what happens. Does that look right? No. And then watch, if I scooted this all over, it goes right underneath that strip. Definitely not right. So if you forget or if you lose track, then you're going to take this out and you'll try again. So over, under, over, under. Oops. Here's another thing that sometimes happens. Sometimes students just go so fast and they forget a strip. Does anything look wrong with this? Yeah, right here. That doesn't look right. So over, under, over, 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 under? No, that's not the pattern. So what happened is I didn't go under with this strip. And I didn't go over with this strip. So if you mess up, then you have to double check and pull it out and try again. Under, over, under, over, under, over. And I like to kind of squeeze it off nice and tight. Maybe a guardian, mom or dad at home can help you with this. Okay, so I told you the two things that usually sometimes go wrong. Otherwise, once you get the pattern, then your goal is to start on this end and work all the way across. Now this might take a couple class periods, work for about, the next 10 or 15 minutes. If you want to go ahead and just finish it today, your in-person classmates might still be working on it for the next class period next week. So I will let you know on Schoology. But I'm just going to keep this video going and just show you how to complete your weave. So over, under, over, under. I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. Under. Oops, I'm going to make sure my marker marks are on the back. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Over, under, over, and under. All right, I'm almost done. Under, over, under, over, under, over. Looks like I have room for one more, maybe two. Under, over, under, over, under. Okay, so sometimes with our weave, we just have a little bit of space left. You can kind of see where it's just a little tiny slice right here, and that's okay. We'll just leave that. Sometimes it's a little tight, and if you made your strips a different size, just be extra careful. Try not to rip your weave. If you need some help, ask an adult at home, and maybe they could either trim your strip or they can help kind of fix that. So otherwise, if you have a little bit of space right here, that's okay. All right, so this is a finished weave. So you see the pattern? It's kind of like a checkerboard or a chessboard, right? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, and I'll save this for another video, just be super careful, keep this in a safe spot. we will be doing a little gluing and cutting with scissors, but I'll show that next time. And then your weave will be complete, but we have some things to add to it if it's going to be an alligator weave. We got to turn it into an alligator. So more of that to come. Nice job, friends. Double check your work and take your time and have fun.